What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna go over the trade I took on NASDAQ on Thursday's CPI. Around 10 a.m., I shorted NQ, and on my runner, I did collect about 100 points in front of 3,000 people. By the way, leave a comment if you saw it happen live. This is just my trade Zella showing the entry there. Partial at around 33 points, and then full exit at 100 points. We continue to go for further targets to the downside. So you can see on my funded futures funded account, I haven't been trading much because it's 4th of July holiday. So took these days off. Well, the market was closed on the 4th, 5th I didn't trade. And then I was quite busy at the beginning of the week, moved steadily into my new place. So came back strong on Thursday and Friday. I don't trade that often. So yeah, let's go over those trades, shall we? Oh, by the way, I did take a payout from this account. Yesterday I requested a payout. I did get it approved. So I requested 5,000, and I did get an email that, it was approved for 4,500. Which, by the way, after you make over $10,000, then it's a 90-10 split. So I got 90% of that, and I should get it in my bank account around tomorrow, I think. So anyway, let's get into the trade and my reasoning behind the trade. So before the day started, I did take a look at the daily on NQ, noted that we did not take out any daily low in quite a while, been just shooting straight up, and Monday up, Tuesday up, Wednesday up. Oftentimes you can see, especially on CPI days, reversals, really good reversals happen. So I kept in mind that we could have a Thursday reversal profile that was already in my head. So this is what NQ looked like at 9:30 open. I had notably marked out the Asia lows because there were imbalances below it. And I was really interested to see if we were going to displace below those Asia lows. I wanted to see candle closes with SIBIs, essentially. So I wanted to see large displacements. And I had waited till we finally, you see that wicked it, and I didn't get into anything. We finally displaced, right? This can even be seen on the 1 minute. Right? At that point, I was actually thinking, since we wicked it, if we closed above this high, then perhaps there could be a bullish market structure shift. And that never happened, and I filtered out that possible long. Instead, we started displacing to the downside. So to me, that was the market lending its hand, showing its hand. We are going to have continuation down. And I was comfortable doing so because I know that CPI offers large ranges, and we had just only manipulated to the upside. I had drawn out this whole move to the upside. I took a fib of that and said, okay, we could go back to the downside. -1 of that. That's essentially where I took off my final target. There's also the day before's low to go after that as well. But I had some confluences there, and I was content with enough there. Right? There was also a daily fair value gap here. Daily fair value gap, right? So basically at this point, I noted we did have an order block now, these two green candles to the upside, and we had fair value gaps. This one I did not want to shorten because I took the Fibonacci of this. And I noted this isn't a discount. I knew the direction, and I wanted to wait for the short, retracement into the premium of the leg. So, and I noted that it did retrace into this nice 3-minute fair value gap and order block here in a premium. And I was very tempted to just short on the 3-minute. but I missed it in the moment. I just didn't want that large of a stop. Was not comfortable with it. But again, on CPI days, you kind of do need somewhat larger stops if you're going to go above the 1 minute. So maybe in the future I will. But essentially here, I knew that the direction was to the downside. We had this was really nice. This confluence where this leg lined up here, I remember thinking, oh, that looks really delicious, right? When standard deviations line up like that, I like it, right? So I'd waited until the retracement into the premium of the leg, right? And then I said, okay, I don't feel so comfortable just shorting into this because of that large move up, and now we have a bullish fair value gap. So I wanted to see that violated. And then I would join. And essentially, I joined at the close of this candle right here, which also lined up with the Asia low. I sat in discomfort for about 2 minutes before it did start reaching towards my direction. I took a partial after we broke new low of day, and then I held for that target, right? And what I like about TradeZilla is that we could actually relive that on the replay and see exactly how that happened right here. This is what I like journaling with TradeZilla. And you could, maybe I can make the speed a bit faster. Yeah. So this is where we can relive how each candle formed. Finally, we're getting this displacement to the downside I talked about. I'm waiting. It's retracing. It's going to retrace into this fair value gap. And now I'm waiting for this to get violated. And you could see right when this candle closes, oh, Tanja gets in right there, shorted at 850. So pretty much right there. And I knew that we should not have closed above 50% of this order block because it's two large body candles. So I had marked that out. You had that as one PD array and that fair value gap as a second one. So here you can see where I took that partial, and then finally where I took the rest off. So yeah, it's all about framing narrative over short-term structure. And a lot of the times I do look at whether we displace below a certain level if we're going to go for the continuation rather than just sweeping it. And lastly, this happened during the 950 to 1010 macro where we started to displace, and I felt very comfortable shorting at 10 a.m. on a CPI day. Oftentimes that is a very good time to get involved in moves. It's during the kill zones and it's during the macro times. So there are a few confluences there that gave me the confidence to hold for more of a move that day. Knowing which days you're likely to get those large expansions is really helpful. For example, if it's a day before a holiday or it's a day before FOMC, day before NFP, I'm not really going to be looking for those same kinds of moves, right? So while we're here, we might as well go over Friday's 85-point move, right? PPI news on Friday, 8:30. They did tap into that liquidity pool. And then I waited until after 10 a.m. to really see price lend its hand because we had 10 a.m. high impact news. I like to enter after that fact. I entered around 10:24 and then exited for about 85 points up here. So I could show that. Honestly, you could look back at the live stream. I very clearly laid out the plan, and I'm pretty proud of myself because you could see right here, I did draw exactly what I thought would happen, and it played out to a T. So let's talk about price structure, exactly what happened, right? So right? We can just fast forward here. This is after 10 a.m. news. We had this huge displacement to the upside. We have all these hourly SIBIs. You can check back my live stream. I noted that we closed above this SIBI. So we were going to reach back up deeper. And, well, NQ pretty much the day before, barely rebalanced. So it's pretty likely that we're going to reach back into 50% of the range. So let's see exactly how that played out. I'd marked out 5-minute fair value gaps and 15-minute ones. And a lot of people ask, why did you long in a premium? Well, I have an understanding of balanced price ranges. And if we offered buy side and sell side multiple times here, I knew that we should not really get all the way down here again. So I knew that we weren't going to really come back into the discount of the leg anymore. And essentially after 10 a.m., I was looking for a price run on a low. So this was the low that I had marked out. And I wanted price to sweep it, especially since there were fair value gaps below it. And then I wanted to see a bullish reaction there, right? To get involved, right? So waited. It was teasing us here, right? And then here, I essentially just got in at the close of this candle because oftentimes I do think when the market is fast and furious, I'll just get in after it inverts a small fair value gap here on the 1 minute rather than waiting for it to dip back into a fair value gap, a bullish one. But, it gave us that opportunity right here. And I remember marking this out. And you could look back at the live stream. This is where reading price is really important. Look at how each candle closed there. With respect to the top half of it, it looked really, really strong. I was debating adding more to my position, but, 2NQ contracts is plenty. Took some off there. And the area where I really targeted for more was I simply took this swing that broke these lows during 8:30 PPI, and it aligned really well with this 50% actually. This is where I exited right here, right? I just wanted to get back into this SIBI area. So I held my runner for more because, again, embracing volatility after CPI, after PPI, those high impact news drivers, those red folder news at the end of the week, I thought that price could give us more of a run up. So I was comfortable holding my runner and put my stop at break even. And it did turn out okay. This is where price was teasing us, and I decided to just take it off right there. But a few moments later, it hit it. So again, you have some confluences here where these levels are very close to each other, different fib values, and I really like it when that happens. I think it does give me confidence in the trade. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. It really is about knowing when you can expect expansions during the week and seeing confluences with different levels along with displacements. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. We live stream here every day at 9:15 a.m. Ciao.